Hey guys, so welcome back. I wanted to do a little video regarding shipping. And I want to try to make it as easy as I can. I know shipping is one of the number one things people say when they're starting eBay, that they're like, I can't start eBay, I'm scared of shipping. And don't worry, I've made all the mistakes on shipping, so I'm happy to share like my best practices and what I use the most. Shipping is definitely should never be a reason why you don't start on eBay. It seems complicated only because eBay gives you so many options. Pretty much all of the USPS options and FedEx options are available, but you will see that if you stick to selling like let's say clothing, shoes, or whatever category your niche is in, that you're going to be shipping the same kinds of items. It's going to start to get a lot easier. So I'm going to show you my most used shipping method, going from my number one. So I mainly sell women's clothing, and my number one way that I ship is first class. So I ship first class in a poly mailer, just one like this. I ran out of my blank ones, but I do always use my eBay coupon that you get quarterly if you have a store to get some shipping supplies. Normally they're not the eBay ones, they're um, just regular gray ones, and I get them on eBay. I believe I get like 100 or so for about $10. So I'm happy to share where I get those. So that's where this is what I use for first class. If it is a blouse, a top, light sweater, sometimes even jeans will go into a first class because obviously they're under a pound. A lot of like the thinner denim that's like slim, small sizes, sometimes they just hit right under that pound, so I will use this. Within the first class shipping, sometimes the item is kind of bulky but it's still light, so I use just a bigger poly mailer for that. Still first class, so I always have the big one just in case. Obviously it has to be under a pound, but when it's just kind of too big for this but is under a pound, then I will use the larger poly mailer. When I start to get into priority, when it's over a pound, my number one way that I ship via priority is the small flat rate envelope. Now, when I started eBay, I was not on any social media, and I actually had gone years and I had no idea the padded one even existed. I know, it's insane. Few reasons. One, my post office doesn't carry these, as most don't. I never received anything in a padded, and what was available at my post office was all these. So I just didn't know until I ended up, I think, getting something in the mail that came in this, and then I started inquiring about it. But that being said, I had shipped so many items in this. The only reason I'm bringing this up is because when I got on Instagram and people saw that I was using the cardboard flat rate over this, I got a lot of questions like, aren't people complaining? Are things getting to the destination damaged? Or just saying, there was a lot of questions. So that's why I'm saying this. But I've never had a complaint about this. However, being that it is cardboard and obviously if it can get wet, it can get damaged, I do always double bag it. So I always put something in this in a poly mailer. I also have clear ones. You can use like the clear thin bread bags that you get from Walmart. I see a lot of people using those. You can use those, just anything that goes in here. Additionally, I always tape the sides. And then just there, but I've never had an issue. And the difference in price, so these are $6.94 and the padded flat rate is $7.23. So it may not seem like a big difference, but when you're starting to ship quantity, it does make a big difference. What I mainly ship here probably would be jeans, where they can easily fit in here. Jeans, lighter sweaters that are not as bulky. You'll be surprised what you can fit in here. After this, excuse me, priority. The next one that I use most common in priority, even before the padded, is it's big brother. So this is the small and this is the legal. So this one cost $7.23. So $6.94, $7.23, $7.52. Now this one, you can actually fit quite a bit of stuff in here. Don't let that size fool you because it's flat. You can stuff this sucker. Put blazers in here, sweaters, so many things. But the key to getting things to fit in here and here is how you prep it before it goes in. So what I do is, say it's like a blazer or a thick sweater, is I'll put it in the plastic and then I push it down to get all the air out and make it as compact as I can. I flatten it out. Sometimes I have to clip the side to get a little bit of air in there. So when I'm trying to squeeze it, all the air can escape just that little side. And then once I have this taped down, good to go, then obviously it's like slinky. It just slides in there. So that's the key to working these, is making sure that you stuff this sucker nicely, neatly, and then put it in there. After these two priority mail, the next one I use is then the padded. I use this a lot for shoes, actually. I ship a ton of shoes in here. Same thing as I'll put, like, I always like to double back things in here. You don't have to, especially in this one, because it is obviously got the bubble wrap and it's plastic. So if it gets wet, it's not going to seep through like the cardboard ones. But heels, sandals, pretty much any shoe that can fit in here. That, of course, isn't a super expensive pair. I wouldn't put like a really, really expensive pair of shoes in here just because I do care about presentation. But majority of my shoes will go in here. Sometimes people with smaller feet, tennis shoes can fit in here. You'll be surprised. So that I would say is my third. The next one would be the Tyvek. This is not flat rate. So how much it costs is going to depend on the weight and how far it's going. So I always look at, if it's something like within California, I'm in California. So putting it in one of these might be just the same amount as this bad boy, the padded flat rate, or one of the cardboard ones. And if I need a little extra room, then I don't have to worry about stuffing in here. I could just use this. I know for Poshmark, a lot of people use this one because obviously you can use any priority mail pretty much. So those are the ones that I mainly use. I also did want to mention the regional A box, and I don't have any of those with me right now because I just used the last one yesterday. But when you're going on to order supplies on the USPS website, and we'll go on there together right now, I always try to get the regional box A, because sometimes depending on where the item is going, shipping it regional box A ends up being a lot cheaper. So I'm going to do a little screen share, and don't worry about the addresses and customer information because I changed it. It is not what is showing on here. So let me go ahead and share. Okay, so you can see my screen here. I wanted to actually first show you where the priority legal flat rate is, because people always ask me, where is that? I see you talk about it. I don't see it as an option. So it's under carrier packages. For some reason, it is not in the first selection here. See where it says custom size. I believe it's because it's not one of the most frequently used. So you have to go under carrier packages and you will find it right here. So just a note on that, because I get that question. I see you talking about the legal flat rate and I can't find it. It is under carrier packages. So I pretty much have a good idea of where and how an item is going to ship. But the good thing about eBay's shipping flow here is that you can easily just put in the weight and the dimensions, and you're going to be able to see which one is the cheapest. So it's not like there's any guessing involved. An area where I may use the regional box A is where the amount here is cheaper than just the regular non-flat rate under priority. So where an item is too big, physically too big, it can't fit in any of these littler flat rates, but maybe it's not, it still is cheaper to do regional box A than to go to the next one, which would be medium flat rate. So let's see, that's not on here. So here, medium flat rate, I would say then that would be the next most common that I use, but you see here is $12.80. And regional box A is $11.74, which is $1 cheaper. So I feel like the two most underrated ways to ship on eBay is the regional box A and the legal flat rate. And both can be found under the carrier packages. And this seems like a lot of information, but I promise as you keep shipping, like this is going to come second nature to you. And all the information that you need is right here. You enter the weight, dimensions, it's going to pop out and tell you what something costs. So let's go to SPS website. And I'm sure you guys know by now, you can order all of these supplies for free. I do order all of my supplies for free online. However, the ones that I know I have to order online because mine doesn't carry them is the legal and the padded. Mine pretty much always have like all the other ones, but they never have these two. So I always make sure to have these two. If you come to the postal store, you'll be able to sort by priority, non-flat rate, and you can just make sure you have an account and order as you go. And again, I know it seems like a lot of options, but it does get easier over time. Let me stop this share. If you guys have any questions regarding doing any of the shipping, please don't hesitate to ask. That's why we're here. We're happy to help. And trust me, I've made every single mistake with shipping. One of my funny first stories when I started and I wasn't well versed in shipping, and I sold these really heavy Nike sneakers, and they went to Hawaii, which of course has to get on a plane, and it ended up eating so much into my profit. But don't feel bad if you make shipping mistakes. We all do. I feel like making these little failures or having these little obstacles is just like something we all have to go through. So just keep plugging away. If you have any questions regarding any of the shipping stuff, please let me know. Thank you.